Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jeff Carter here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to my podcast. Today is the second day. Well, not second day so much as the second episode. And today I kind of wanted to talk about my dad and what's going on there. Hopefully, this will be able to help you out in dealing with either an absentee dad or a very negative dad, like mine is. And let's just say that, at least for now, before we really started getting into what's going on in my life and how I hope that this will help you, me and my dad don't always get along. These episodes are free. Hopefully, you are sharing them. I have no advertisers, we have no sponsors, and no special interest in this. It's just me talking to you so that whatever the things that I'm going through, hopefully, they're able to help you out with what you're dealing with in your life. Like I said, my name is Jeff Carter. This is the Common Man Podcast. Thanks for being here. So, how do I start this off? My parents divorced when I was 5. And since then, I have always wanted to have, at least as far as that I can remember, going back to that young, being, 40 some years ago now. I've always wanted a real relationship with my dad. With, I don't know, man, like the idea of my dad, the idea of having a dad like some of my best friends that have like legit relationships with their dad. They call them, frequently. My dad and I talk once a month at best. My dad's preferred method of conversation is through sarcasm and joking. I lean more conservative on the political spectrum. I am Christian. I am a Bible believing follower of Jesus. I don't like using that term Christian. I say that I'm a Bible believing follower of Jesus because so many different ideologues out there have taken the Christian faith and have twisted it and turned it into something disgusting. So I don't like saying that. So like I said, I'm a Bible believing follower of Jesus. I try to have a personal relationship with him. I talk with Jesus daily. I almost talk with him more than I talk with my wife. Well, I probably do talk to God more than I talk to my wife. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about dads. And like I said, I talk to my dad maybe once a month. It's very difficult to have discussions with him because my dad is an atheist. He actively rejects God. He mocks me for having my faith, which is fun. And he, being who he is, he's very left leaning. Right now it is 2025 and Donald Trump is our president. I'm recording this on March 6th. So if you're watching this right now, if you're seeing this today or with this week, then there's a lot of stuff going on. I have had two conversations with my dad in the last 2 days. The last conversation, which ended day before yesterday, ended with him telling me that he never wants to talk to me again unless I can agree to his terms of not talking about faith and talking about politics. I'm very passionate about politics. I have a very strong but open opinion about where I stand. My dad does not. My dad is a hardliner who believes that Donald Trump is the Antichrist, which is bizarre because my dad doesn't believe in God. Or maybe he does and just hates God. I don't know. But let's rewind a little bit. So, my dad. My dad lost his leg to bone cancer before I was ever born. So this is back in the mid to early 70s when my dad was 22, 23 years old, I believe, somewhere in there. So I've never known my father to have two legs. And I never looked at my dad as being someone that had only one leg. So much so that in 2006, 2007, I was actually living with my dad up in Phoenix. I had just gotten out of prison at the time for the DUI story for a totally different day. And I was going on job interviews. I was interviewing for a managerial position with a sales company. And I had actually asked my dad to borrow one of his suits because he and I are roughly the same size. He looked at me with this incredulous look. I said, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow one of your suits?" He looks at me and says, "No." I said, "Wait a minute, why not?" He says, "Jeff, how are you going to fit into the pants?" Because my dad tailors his pants to only having one leg. So so he never allowed it to affect him. My dad has always been kind of a hero figure of mine because he has had to overcome so much in his life, but he never got him down. My dad gets around on crutches. He's never wanted to use a wheelchair. Uh it- so of course, him being kind of a hero figure of mine, I've always wanted to have a much better relationship with him. My dad is extremely difficult to talk to. He doesn't want to talk about anything like real. Doesn't want to talk about past stuff that he's had to go through in his life. He has difficulty opening up about his emotions. So we don't ever talk about like what's really going on with us. I, when I talk to my dad, I talk about my walk with Jesus because that's like literally the most important thing in my life. My relationship with God. And talking to my dad about anything like that because of his active rejection of Jesus, active rejection of God, active rejection of all things religion. There's not much else that I can talk to about except current events, which then leads into politics. So it kind of sucks. How do I deal with that? That's an actual question that I'm asking you right now because I'm having a difficult time dealing with that with a dad that I want to have a relationship with, very, very much so. But the two things that I'm most passionate about, he is completely opposite to. So that's where I'm at. I'm having a very, very difficult time with that. So 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I called my dad because I haven't talked to him in over a month and a half. I wanted to see how he's doing, seeing how he's still alive, how his life was going. So I give him a call and we talk about stuff that he's been doing recently. We can talk about work. He and I are both in the same profession. We actively do inspections on construction projects. My dad is actually the one that got me into this career, which I am eternally grateful for. I will forever be grateful for. It's because for the last, gosh, it's 2014, so the last 9 years, I have been doing this because my dad and my cousin actually got me into this industry, which is really, really cool. I love it. It involves a lot of travel. I get to drive all over Arizona. Um, I'm actively doing what are called property condition assessments, and that's literally taking me all over the country. And I hope one day, maybe even to be taking me all over the world. I helped led me to becoming a drone pilot. All things because of my dad. My dad was the one that introduced me to drones, not the other way around. And my dad's, gosh, 25, 26 years older than I am. It just makes me sad. How do I how do I can how do I build upon a relationship where the other person is so against the things that I believe in? Let me close that. That's kind of distracting. I don't know, but I try. I do keep my mouth shut most of the time. I don't get angry. My dad does. My dad gets like really, really heated about this stuff. So right now I'm praying for him. I'm praying, Lord, soften his heart. Lord, soften my heart. Help me to accept him for who he is. I mean, I do accept my dad for who he is. I love my dad. I love him very much. But he rejects me based on my beliefs. I don't know if you're dealing with that or not. Maybe you are. You're dealing with a dad who maybe he just rejected wanting to have kids, or maybe he sees something in me that reminds him of something that he deals with or he has that he doesn't want to deal with. My dad has had a very traumatic growing up. Um, Him and his only full blood sibling, my uncle Alan, who is now passed away, um, were effectively abandoned at a young age. um, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to excuse behavior. Of course not. I mean, we all have issues. We all got to deal with that stuff. But you know, it's tough. It's tough having a dad that rejects you for the things that you believe, the person that you are. Because that's who I am. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Now he is and my Father God in heaven, he is a perfect God. He, I look right here on my desk and I have Psalm 23. He leads me beside still waters. And I thank him for that. So for those of you that are dealing with a dad who is difficult, just remember that you have a Father in heaven who loves you unconditionally, who is the best possible father you could ever ask for. He even gives you the choice to reject him, like my dad does. Yeah. So, about that conversation we were having a couple days ago. So, we're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about these tariffs. And my dad says something that is just completely ridiculous. He says that the things that your, meaning me, the things that your president is doing is directly affecting me. And my dad's not on Medicare or Medicaid. And even if he was, none of those programs are getting cut, even though the mainstream media is saying that those things are happening. Of course, I can't tell my dad any of this stuff because he'll actively reject it because I don't listen to the mainstream cable news networks. I get my news from alternative locations, online websites where they actually have real news organizations like Newsmax and the Epic Times. I also do read articles from left-leaning websites like the Wall Street Journal and Axios because I want to verify and I want to make sure that I'm getting all of the information correct and not just basing my facts on other people's opinions, which may or may not be accurate. And like I said, I can't tell my dad this stuff. So I have to bite my tongue. And I have to say things like, well, Dad, let's just wait and see because this too may or may not bear fruit. Well, wait a minute. Let's try to separate ourselves from the things that's going on and look at this from a long range perspective. I try to talk to my dad about things that are going on with work. I try to talk to my dad about things that are going on in my marriage. I wish that my father could offer good advice to me, but he's had 2 failed marriages. And I never want that to happen. So the questions that I ask him about stuff like that are having to deal with or I view them through the lens of he did this. I want to make sure to not do any of that so that it doesn't affect me. In church we talk about things like breaking generational curses. And I just told you that my dad has had a very traumatic upbringing. There's got to be feelings of abandonment or, gosh, feelings of rejection. And maybe he's rejecting me because he doesn't want to get rejected first. I don't know. This is a difficult subject for me to talk about because I don't have a lot of answers. So much so that I wanted to talk to you out there about this to tell you that you're not alone. That even guys like me who, on the outside, they look like they got it all together. I walk confidently in spite of the fact that I have broken relationships in my past. I have a broken relationship with my mom. The fact that the one that I have probably the best relationship with is my stepmom, who is my dad's second ex-wife, who lives on the opposite side of the country from me. And when we talk, we're usually on the phone for, an hour talking about all kinds of stuff that's going on in my life, stuff that's going on in her life, actual real meat and potatoes issues that we're dealing with, health-wise, faith-wise. We have conversations about eternity and about God, and we have conversations about things that we're struggling with physically, emotionally, daily stuff. And I want that with my dad, but I don't have it. And from this conversation, at least the things that I'm saying right now, it feels like I'm never going to get it. And I have to be okay with that. And sometimes you have to be okay with that too. Because we have a Father in heaven who loves us so much. And I know that for a lot of you out there, that's a bitter pill to swallow. Sorry. Tongue twisted there. But he always listens. And he does care. And he always answers. May not always be the answer that we want, but it's always the answer that we need right now. Guys, if you ever want to reach out to me to talk, I would welcome it. You can send me a direct message through Rumble here. Shoot me a message to my Instagram. Let me look at my Instagram. What is my Instagram? You can send me direct messages there. That is, my handle is the Jeff Carter, TheJeffCarter. I believe that's it. I don't know. It's loading right now. Yep, just at the Jeff Carter. It's got a picture of me. I'm kind of looking off to the side with my glasses on, but you can tell it is me. Send me a message to Facebook. I am Jeff Carter profile. What is my bio? I don't know. Edit details? Nope. What is my Facebook? About. I don't even know. But it's got a picture of me in the cowboy hat. Send me a picture to Facebook. Send me a picture to Instagram or a link to my Instagram. You can comment here on the Rumble. I'm also going to be posting this on YouTube, so you can send me a direct message through YouTube. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear your questions, your feedback, comments, whatever you got. Oh, you can send me a message on X. I am the Coach Carter 9, the Coach Carter 9 on X. Um, I'm on Vimeo. I'm on Fiverr. You can check out my locals page. Really, really appreciate y'all being here. God bless you guys. Reach out with questions, comments. I will respond as soon as I can. Not always on here. Like I said, I throw up one of these videos each week. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that Rumble button. Become a follower. Really, really appreciate it. God bless you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.